Hi guys, this is Vitaly with AFT Dispatch and A2C Logistics, and in today's video, I'd like to speak with you about the declining truck tonnage numbers and what that means for the overall freight markets. But first, roll the intro. Welcome back. Before we get started, I'd like to ask you to please like the video, be sure you subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell so you never miss a single release of our videos, where every Friday we're talking about something that could benefit you in your trucking businesses, in your trucking careers, as well as cover the loads we've successfully booked for our customers, consisting of leased on owner operators and carriers operating under their own MC authorities, running under our truck dispatch services. As always guys, big thank you for all the likes you've provided in all the previous videos. Please do keep them coming, and let's talk about these truck tonnage numbers. Obviously, I'm back with more doom and gloom, as some of you guys call it, but ultimately, we're going to look at the true figures that drive the freight economy, the freight industry, and what we're seeing at the moment is some interesting figures. For example, truck tonnage keeps declining. That is an issue. And we're going to look at numbers from the ATA, American Trucking Associations, which have actually already produced April numbers for April 2023 figures, and we're also going to look at the government's numbers, which are really behind. The government is behind, as is often the case, but they're really behind because they're looking at February 2023 numbers, which the government's usually about a month behind, but we're now at the end of May and we're still working with February numbers, which are really throwing off the statistics, and wonder why that is. Now, let's look at the index figures. The ATA's index for April is sitting at 112.7 for April 2023, while FRED is, or the federal numbers, are sitting at 118.4. But those figures are for February versus ATA's for April. Now, what does this all mean? Well, ATA's index, it actually fell 1.7% for April, and then basically after that it had fallen 2.8% in March. So what we're seeing is it's not really an improvement. It's just it fell less back in April than it did in March, but it is a further decline. Now, as far as I mentioned FRED, that's actually the Federal Reserve Bank of St. Louis. They're providing these figures, and they're publicly available. You can look them up online, and you'll see the numbers presented there. And primarily what they're looking at, both the ATA's figures as well as FRED, they're looking at the contract freight. And what we're seeing here is the freight is falling. Now, what we talked about in the past is that the contract freight rates as well as the spot market freight rates were converging. And right now what's happening is more of the same. Now, the spot market freight is actually falling even harder than the contract market freight, the freight market. And so what we're actually seeing is a tonnage index that is clearly indicating further declines into at least the near future. So again, like I said, I'm back with more doom and gloom. You're more than welcome to click off if this is not your cup of tea, but like I said, I'd rather be upfront and truthful and look at things as they are, because we've talked about this in previous videos, and I'll leave a card here in the corner that Memorial Day, the 29th of May, is an indication of how the remaining portion of the year will be. So we're definitely still keeping our eyes and ears open for those figures, for those numbers, and we're also going to look for the seasonally adjusted figures, which generally will equate some things or equalize some things. But ultimately, the tonnage index is sitting at the lowest level since September of 2021. So let's definitely not forget that. And the tonnage index has been falling for 2 straight months on a year-over-year basis. Another big deal. Now, compared to April of last year, 2022, the seasonally adjusted index is actually down 3.4%, which would be the largest year-over-year decrease since February of 2021. So we're going back. We're really going back, and we continue seeing declines and decreases. Now, looking at the March index, that was also down 2.4% from 2022. So again, a decline there. And to give you some statistics, and which will hopefully paint a picture of why this is important, is that 72.2% of all tonnage is carried by truck. So the trucking industry, which is carrying the vast majority of the freight, which would also include, freight by air, by sea, by rail, things like that. And trucks are the ones who carry the vast majority of this freight as far as tonnage is concerned. Now, 80.8% of the total revenue that's earned is earned by trucking. So guys, trucking is super important. It's not something you can just flip a switch and turn off. That's not how the United States operates, but we certainly are seeing major declines and things are not looking very pretty. Although today's video, you'll see in the second portion when I switch over to camera that rates are decent. We are able to get good rates, good gross, good miles, and the guys in dispatch are definitely doing a great job. So with that said, I'm gonna switch over to camera and we're gonna look over the loads that we book for our customers. If you haven't done so, please smash the like button, make sure you subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, and I'll see you guys in just a moment. Welcome back. Let's take a look at some of these loads. As mentioned earlier, rates are decent this week. Good gross, good figures. Let's jump in with a reefer coming out of Dayton, Oregon, going to West Valley, actually West Jordan, Utah. It's a 40,000 pound load of refrigerated goods running 50 degrees on a reefer, 817 miles, booked at 2,400 bucks, got them $294 a mile. Then out of St. George, Utah, going to Fresno, California. It's a 44,000 pound load of bulk gypsum, 512 mile run. I'm assuming that this is a dry load. $827 booked at $1.62 a mile. Did a great job on that one. Moved them over to California, and then from California, out of Gustine, California, going to Casa Grande, Arizona. It's a 37,000 pound load of FAK, 701 miles, booked at 1,400 bucks, got them exactly $2 a mile. And they finished off with Rico, Arizona, going back to North Salt Lake, Utah, with a 42,000 pound load of watermelons, 55 degrees on a reefer, 837 miles, booked at 3,000 bucks, got them $358 a mile. So really pays to move around the market, sometimes bite the bullet, get a lower rate in order to, reposition yourself and get an average. Because here's the thing. This reefer is a solo, ran Tuesday to Tuesday, ended up grossing $7,627, ran 2,867 loaded miles at an average of 266 per loaded mile average. Excellent job, 7 days on the road, solo, did a great job. Next, we got a dry van coming out of McCordsville, Indiana, going to Caldwell, Idaho, with a 35,000 pound load of HVAC equipment, 1,851 miles, booked at 4,000 bucks, got him $216 a mile. Then out of Payette, Idaho, going to Camp Washington. It's a 26,000 pound light load of canned and jarred vegetables, 437 miles, booked at 1,000 bucks, got him $229 a mile. And then Tacoma, Washington, with a 1 pick 2 dropper to the Dales, Oregon, and Boring, Oregon, 20,000 pound light load of all-terrain vehicles, or an all-terrain vehicle in a dry van, or maybe these were all-terrain vehicle parts, I'm not exactly sure, but 296 miles, booked at 900 bucks, got them $304 a mile, over $3 there. And then out of Washougal, Washington, going to Kalispell, Montana. It's a 42,000 pound load of FAK, freight of all kinds, 572 mile run, booked at 1,500 bucks, got them $262 a mile, and did a great job there. It's solo dry van, $7,400 gross in a week, Friday to Friday, ran 3,156 loaded miles at an average of 234 per loaded mile average. An excellent job there. Another reefer coming out of Panama City, Florida, going to Imlay City, Michigan, with a 42,000 pound refrigerated grocery load, running 40 to 42 degrees on a reefer, 1,043 miles, booked at 3,200 bucks, got him $307 a mile on that one, coming out of Florida, guys. Then Middlebury, Indiana, going to Apple Creek, Ohio, with a 42,000 pound load of eggs, running 38 degrees on a reefer, 259 miles, booked at 1,150, got him $444 per loaded mile there. Great job. Then out of Winesburg, Ohio, going to Baltimore, Maryland, with a 43,000 pound load of frozen chicken at -10 on a reefer, 358 miles, booked at 1,300 bucks, got him $363 a mile. Excellent job. Great rates, 7 days on the road, ended up grossing $56.50, but ran extremely efficiently at 1,660 loaded miles, running at an average of $340 per loaded mile. So 7 days on the road for a solo reefer, very efficient run, great job. Next, we got a dry van coming out of Laredo with 3 drops out in Hopkinsville, Kentucky, Seymour, Indiana, and a final in Terre Haute, Indiana. Now this one is a 44,000 pound load of canned foods, 1,484 miles booked at $3,300, got them $222 a mile. Then Paris, Illinois to Dallas, Georgia with a 43,000 pound load of plastic film, 506 miles booked at $1,000, got them $198 on that one. Then out of Dallas, Zero Deadhead, Dallas, Georgia to Wadesboro, North Carolina. It's a 42,000 pound load of cements and flooring adhesives, 326 miles booked at $900, got them $276 a mile. And they finished off their week with Rockingham, North Carolina, go to Pryor, Oklahoma. It's a 44,000 pound load of paper products, 1,054 miles booked at $2,200, got them $209 a mile on that one. 7 days on the road, running Friday to Friday, gross $7,400 on their 7 days, 3,370 loaded miles, ran at $220 per loaded mile average. An excellent job. Then we got ourselves a dry van out of Golden, Colorado, going to Milwaukee, Wisconsin, 25,000 pound light load of cans, 1,044 miles, booked at $1,750, got them $168 on that one, repositioned them. Then out of Bolingbrook, Illinois, with a 1-pick 2-dropper, going to Sioux Falls, South Dakota, and Billings, Montana, with a 40,000 pound load of paper products, 1,239 miles, booked at $3,000, got them $242 a mile. Then out of Billings, 2 drops, going to Lowell, Wyoming, with a 44,000 pound load of animal feed. Real quick run, it's only 96 miles, booked at $675, got them $703 per mile. Then right out of Billings, Montana, going to Plains, Montana, another shorter run. It's a 14,000 pound super light load of metal electric boxes, 420 miles booked at $1,075, got them $256 per mile on that one. Excellent job, running 7 days on the road, Wednesday to Wednesday, gross $6,500, ran 2,799 loaded miles at an average of $232 per loaded mile average. An excellent job. The rest are all dry vans as well. For example, this one's coming out of Junction City, Oregon, going to Mesa, Arizona, with a 42,000 pound load of baking supplies, 1,193 miles booked at $2,150, got them $180 on that one. Then out of Phoenix, Arizona, to Concord, North Carolina, with a 42,000 pound load of sporting or energy drinks, things like that. 2,065 miles, long run, booked at $4,400, got them $213 a mile, and an excellent job going to North Carolina. Then right out of Concord, North Carolina, Zero Deadhead, going to Sellersburg, Indiana, with a 43,000 pound load of foodstuffs, 504 miles, booked at $1,100, got them $218 a mile. So excellent job going in, coming out, very well done. Solo dry van grossed $7,650 on their 7 days, running Wednesday to Wednesday, ran 3,762 loaded miles at an average of $203 per loaded mile, did over $2. An excellent job. Next, we got ourselves another dry van coming out of Arlington, Washington, and Marysville, Washington. 2 picks, 1 drop, going to Newport, Washington. Real quick run, very light load at 7,000 pounds of aircraft parts, 370 miles booked at $1,050, got them $284 a mile. Then Cheney, Washington to Belgrade, Montana, with a 20,000 pound load of all pack containers, 405 miles booked at $1,150, got them $284 a mile there as well. Then Ryrie, Idaho, going to Wisconsin Rapids, Wisconsin, with a 42,000 pound load of potato flakes, 1,337 miles, booked at $2,500, got them $187 on that one, repositioned them. Then out of Messine, Wisconsin, going to McKenzie, North Dakota, with a 44,000 pound load of rubber mulch, 596 miles, booked at $1,700, got them an easy $285 per mile there. 7 days on the road, Wednesday to Wednesday, ended up running 2,708 loaded miles, got them $6,400 booked in 7 days, ran at $236 per loaded mile. An excellent job there. And we're gonna finish off with the last one. It's a dry van coming out of Tulsa, Oklahoma, going to Coldwater, Michigan. Light load of foam, 15,000 pounds on the weight, 826 miles booked at $1,600, got them $194 on that one. Then Mishawaka, Indiana, going to Blacksburg, Virginia, and it looks like it's 40,000 pound load of steel coils, 540 miles booked at $1,100, got them $204 a mile. Then Chilhowie, Virginia, going to Libertyville, Illinois with a 40,000 pound load of packaging labels, 653 miles, booked at $1,500, got him $230 a mile. Then finished off with Lamont, Illinois, going to Bensalem, Pennsylvania with a super light load of 6,000 pounds of cardboard, 796 miles, booked at $1,800, got him $226 a mile, going to PA. Now, what's interesting is this one ran for 6 days. So they made $1,000 a day, running $6,000 for the 6 days, 2,815 loaded miles at an average of 213 per loaded mile average. So as you can see, guys, there is a way to make money in any market. Yeah, you have to hustle. Yes. Do you have to bite some bullets? Do you have to take some shorter runs? Do you have to take some cheaper freight? Do you have to reposition yourself? Absolutely. But at the end of the day, it's an average game. It always has been. It always will be. And if you play your cards right, you work with the right dispatchers, if you have the right lease on operation, if you have the right outfit, if you have the right company, the right guys that you're working with, you will make money in any market. You will be able to get through the tough times that we find ourselves in, and unfortunately, possibly tougher times that are just around the corner. So if you have any questions whatsoever, you'd like to learn more about our leasing program or about our dispatch program, if you have any other questions about our videos that we produce week in, week out, certainly subscribe to our channel. You can also call us or text us at 801-448-6363 or simply go to our website at aftdispatch.com. Until next week, stay healthy, be wealthy. Take care, guys.